So, I've been trying to film a video for like the past 20 minutes, and I had an idea of just doing a review of Dark, the new show on Netflix. It's a German show. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably should watch it before I do this. It's impossible to review this show without any spoilers. So I decided I'm just gonna do a whole spoiler. I'm just gonna tell you what the show is about, from what I can remember, because I watched it like 3 weeks ago, and I could barely remember any of the names because it's basically Anna Karenina in a small town. It's ridiculous. So basically, the story takes place in a small town called Vinden. And the only character I can remember the full name of is Jonas Conrad. So he goes with his friends to the woods. Before this happens, there's been a child missing. I can't remember his name. He's a ginger. And something about drugs, and they're like, oh yeah, let's go get some drugs in the woods, because oh, that's what it was. The kid that was missing, he was a drug dealer. And you find out later that his dad helped him. But he would hide his drugs in the woods. And there's a cave there that everyone hangs out in, because I don't know what it is about small towns and hanging out in woods. That's why people always go fucking missing in those towns. So all three of them, I can't remember the names of any of the other characters except Mikkel, because they said his name like 50 billion times, and Mads, and he's not even a main character. So Mikkel is the second child that goes missing, at least in this timeline. It's 2019 in the storyline, and then the kids go to the woods, a light show happens in a cave, and the kid disappears. Mikko disappears, and then what's his face? Jonas was running with him because they were afraid of the lights, and Mikko disappears, and then Jonas is like, "Oh my God, where's Mikko? He was just behind me. I can't find him now." And then everyone's like, "Oh, how the hell did you not see Mikko disappear?" And he's like, "Well, bitch, I was running in the dark in the woods. And it was someone else's idea to go and find drugs in the woods." So then, what the hell's the name of that girl? He's with his best friend and another girl that those two are dating, and Mikkel is the brother of the girl. Can't remember their names. I'm sorry, guys. So anyway, kids can't really remember anything that happens in between now. You basically just get introduced to all these characters in Vinden, and spoiler alert, it's about time travel. It's a main fabric of the story. I wouldn't say it's the only point to the story, because I think the characters are more interesting than the time traveling bit, but it is important, the time traveling nonsense. So let's skip ahead, because I don't remember the characters. They all have rivalries and grudges, and I can't remember. Jonas ends up in the past. I don't know how he gets there. But in spoiler alert, if you couldn't figure it out already, Mikko went into the past somehow. That hasn't been explained. Supposedly it's going to be explained in the second season. So we have that to look forward to. It's weird. If you are Jonas and you find out that Mikkel is actually your dad. Imagine growing up with a kid and then finding out that he went into the past and that's how you're born. Because he ends up meeting his mom and they get together. So actually, later on, he kind of had a fling. I think they only kissed. I thought they had sex, but I don't think they did. I think they just kissed. He kissed his aunt. Kind of gross. Sorry. But yeah, he got to see all these people when they were younger. He saw his mom when she was younger. Probably I was going to say she was normal then, but she wasn't. What did she do? Mikkel goes back to 1986, uh, meets Jonas's mom, the pervert, and they hit it off. But she was still into Ulrich. I want to say that's his name. I hope it is. And that's Mikkel's dad. His in the future. So she had a thing for Mikkel's dad. But Mikkel, I don't think he knows that. He figures it out later. Another thing, oh yeah, I forgot about that. The show starts out with Mikkel in the future killing himself, but you don't know that that's Mikkel. It's Jonas's dad kills himself. Again, he doesn't know that. Anyway, what else happens? Oh, kids keep disappearing, and there's a priest called Noah that runs around and for whatever reason always looks really good. He has beautiful muscles. He's an older man. I think he's in his 50s. Covered in tattoos. And he's a priest, and for whatever reason he can time travel, and he knows everything that's going to happen, but he has to pretend that he doesn't, or maybe that's not what's happening in the story. Something like that. And, what else happens? Ulrich was already, suspecting that Helga is another character there. He's a bit of a weirdo. He has a fucked up face, or ear. He has a messed up ear. And you find out it's because Ulrich follows future Helga, 2019 we're talking here, into the wormhole, and he goes back to 1953 or 2, one of those years, and he was only a kid then, but because Ulrich thinks that he's the one, well, he is the one, like, kidnapping kids, but he's not the one who is mainly responsible for it. The priest is the one that manipulates him into doing it. But also he was a child, so he wasn't killing people then. And Ulrich tries to kill him, but he didn't do it right, and he lives. So Helga goes. Helga's having like some sort of breakdown in his old age, and he's trying to convince his past self not to be a dick and continue kidnapping kids. So he goes back. Ulrich follows him because he thinks that he's gonna go out and kidnap another kid. And then he's like, oh, what the hell is this? He goes back in time, meets his own mom and someone. And he tries to kill Helga as a child. Doesn't work out. He gets arrested because they think that he's the one who was killing children. He sees that there's kids missing even in that time. And then, what's his face? Oh, Jonas's future self is trying to close this portal, which never seems to work. And Noah the priest is like, it never works, he's so stupid. But we need to let him do it because he needs to do it to open the wormhole, para no sé qué. And then he's like, what happens to Jonas? What does he get up to? Oh, he finds out that he kisses his aunt. He's like all pissed off. He's like, Mikkel's my family. He's still not focusing on the main issue that his mom is a crazy slut. But that's fine. He thinks his mom is the greatest shit. Is he insane? Like, no one likes his mom either. Everyone thinks she's crazy. Oh, then while Ulrich is out in the past, his wife is like losing her shit. Okay, oh, Ulrich and Jonas's mom are having a fling, by the way. So, it's like on a Layla, basically. They're having a fling. His wife knows, and she's always known that Jonas's mom has had a thing for Ulrich since she was younger, so she can't stand her. and she knows that they had this affair. Okay, towards the end of the series, Jonas's mom is obsessed with getting revenge on Ulrich, but I still don't really understand why all of a sudden she decided on taking that route. She wants to ruin his reputation, but I think he's fucked because he gets arrested in the past. So that's not. I don't think he's coming back. So now he's missing too. Oh, and since he went into the past, he took a smartphone with him, and this clockmaker guy got it, and he ended up using it to make a time machine. A little one. And that's what future Jonas tries to use to open a wormhole. So if you're not confused yet, oh, and then he gets trapped. Jonas gets trapped, and then his future self goes to his little window, and he's like, yeah, I can't let you out because I was scared too. I was in your position. We already know that this conversation happened. Get over it. You stop being a little bitch. And then a hole opens, and little Helga, goes through it, and then Jonas goes to the other side, and which actually does not make sense now that I think about it, because he should have gone to the past. Instead, he went to the future. What the hell is he doing in the future? He went like 30 years forward. I can't do math, so I can't tell you when that was. So, you do the math. 2019 plus 30. Can't do that. So he's somewhere. 2049? 2049. Whatever. He goes somewhere in the future, and then the future's really fucked. Because Vinden was already a shithole, but in the future it's really crazy. It looks like a really green Mad Max in the future. But yeah. So that's Dark in a nutshell. Really. I mean, there's definitely a bunch of stuff missing there because I can't for the life of me remember. Because a lot of the show is them building up on the background story of the characters, so I can't remember a lot of that stuff. And yeah, so too bad. So if you're interested in watching that show, it's pretty good. I mean, there's some issues that I have with it. Not so, like, the storylines are fine. I don't have an issue with the characters, really, except for Jonas's mom, who's a crazy bitch. But, my main issue is with that priest character. I don't understand what his purpose is. He's just there. He's important, but it's not explained what his purpose is. What's his mission? What does he want from life? I thought he was a demon at first. I thought they were gonna go the supernatural route. I mean, they might as well. They have time travel going on. But, I hope it's not that. But it seems to be sort of like heading in that direction. I hope they come up with something else. Because I don't like, that's too much. I like science fiction and supernatural separate. I don't like the combination of the two. It gets stupid. And I don't really see what his purpose is. He seems to know what's going on, but I don't understand what the point of keeping that circle. He says everything has to happen the same way, but I don't see to what end. So that's that. I mean, if you want to see another one of these sort of shambolic film or series reviews, leave a like, subscribe, contemplate your life. I hope you enjoyed. See you next Deutsch Donnerstag. I hope this one was nice for you. Bye.